We were a bit confused about all the fans, or I'd say lack thereof of all the fans in Stadium 2 while Rybakina was playing. As you can see from videos and pictures, if we were to say that there are hundreds of people watching this match, that would be a stretch.
Fergus, I cannot play Rafa anymore, but if he would make like 10 times time relation to Rafa, because like you need to have some common sense sometimes.
And seeing the Brazilian fans, I mean, that's what you kind of want, you know, you want that new atmosphere. Same for Eala, having all the Philippine fans from coming, you know, to support her. It's fantastic.
Tommy Haas, the director of the prestigious Indian Wells Tennis Garden, is reportedly in full-blown crisis mode. He is facing a massive, unprecedented decline in ticket sales and crowd energy ever since the stunning young Filipina tennis star Alex Eala was knocked out of the tournament. This sudden drop-off has left Haas scrambling to find a way to bring the massive crowds back into the stadium. But wait, things just got even more intense. Haas has reportedly even gone so far as to criticize the WTA behind closed doors for not properly capitalizing on Eala's massive global appeal. Let's break down exactly what's been going on and how Alex Eala's undeniable star power temporarily turned the Indian Wells tournament completely upside down.
However, Indian Wells set a single-day attendance record of more than 58,000 fans on the first Friday.
Alex Eala, the rising superstar from the Philippines, made a jaw-dropping debut at the 2026 Indian Wells tournament. The young prodigy's highly anticipated first match was against Diana Yastremska, and it wasn't just any match. It was a record-breaking event in tennis history. You might think that's an exaggeration, but this match utterly shattered expectations. The global demand for tickets to watch Eala play was so overwhelming that secondary ticket prices skyrocketed to previously unthinkable levels. In fact, Indian Wells reportedly made a staggering $5 million in ticket sales from that one single match alone. Furthermore, Indian Wells set a single-day attendance record of more than 58,000 fans on that first Friday. But this wasn't just about the raw numbers on a spreadsheet. It was about the electric atmosphere. Over 58,000 fans flooded the sprawling venue to watch the young Filipina sensation. The crowd's energy was absolutely electric, and everyone in the building knew they were witnessing something incredibly special. Tommy Haas, the tournament director, was understandably ecstatic. For a tournament like Indian Wells, with its rich traditional history and prestige, injecting this kind of massive, vibrant energy was monumental. But here's exactly where the story takes a very sharp turn. As quickly as Eala had captured the hearts of tennis fans in the California desert, she was eliminated from the tournament. And what happened next was even more shocking. The ticket sales completely plummeted. The massive stadiums, which had been filled to absolute capacity for Eala's matches, now sat eerily empty. The passionate audience that had packed the stands to cheer on Alex Eala had seemingly disappeared almost overnight. It was as if the magic had completely evaporated, and the tournament's lifeblood was draining out.
We were a bit confused about all the fans, or I'd say lack thereof of all the fans in Stadium 2 while Rybakina was playing. As you can see from videos and pictures, if we were to say that there are hundreds of people watching this match, that would be a stretch.
Tommy Haas, who had been riding incredibly high on the massive success of Eala's opening matches, suddenly found himself in a panic. With the crowd thinning out dramatically, Haas was frantically scrambling to figure out how to fill the stadiums again. And what was his rumored solution? Well, in a desperate attempt to reverse the downward spiral, Haas has reportedly been trying to arrange 1 or 2 high-profile exhibition matches featuring none other than Alex Eala herself. That's right, he wants to get Eala back on the court, even if it's not part of the official tournament bracket, in a last-ditch effort to bring the fans back. Haas has reportedly even tried to get Eala to play an exhibition match before the start of the Miami Open, just to revive the lagging ticket sales. Now, what's even more interesting about this chaotic situation is the reaction from the broader tennis world. It's no secret that Alex Eala's rise has been absolutely meteoric, but it wasn't always smooth sailing with the tour executives. Back at the Australian Open earlier this year, for instance, when Eala was drawing massive crowds, the WTA made a highly controversial decision to place her on smaller outer courts instead of giving her a rightful spot on the main stage. As a result, hundreds, if not thousands, of devoted fans were left standing in long lines outside, desperately hoping to get a glimpse of their idol. It was crystal clear to many observers that the WTA was doing everything it could to downplay Eala's explosive popularity. But instead of extinguishing the fire, it only poured gasoline on the flames. Fans demanded more, and the hype surrounding Eala only grew bigger. Now, it's incredibly important to note that Eala's rise is not just about viral hype or ticket controversy. It's about her undeniable, world-class talent and grueling hard work. When Novak Djokovic, arguably the greatest player of all time, publicly praises Alex Eala, you know she is something truly special. Djokovic has been quoted saying that while watching Eala play on television is great, watching her live in person is even better. Coming from someone who has competed against the absolute best players in the world for 2 decades, this is no small compliment. Djokovic's words carry massive weight in the tennis community.
Alex Eala, you know, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. You know, there's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. You know, she's been the biggest ever, you know, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest.
But despite all this elite praise, the tension between the WTA and tournament organizers is boiling over. Tommy Haas is no longer just concerned about his ticket sales. He is publicly expressing his deep frustration with the WTA's mishandling of Alex Eala's massive star power. He believes the WTA missed a monumental opportunity to capitalize on the demand. And Haas isn't the only one who's frustrated. Tennis legends have been highly vocal about the profound significance of Eala's success. Maria Sharapova, the former world #1, pointed out that Eala's rise is about the vital representation she provides for Asian athletes. For years, professional tennis has been heavily dominated by players from Europe and North America. Sharapova also praised Eala's mental toughness, noting how important it is for a young star to stay grounded.
These are so special, but if you treat them too high, and you treat the tough moments as a really big low in your career, it's hard to find that happy medium, and I think that's what that sweet spot is.
Sharapova believes that Alex Eala is finding that sweet spot. She is completely changing the global narrative and actively inspiring millions of people across Asia who may have never felt represented in professional tennis before. But back to the immediate situation at hand. Tommy Haas is in full crisis mode, with the stadiums looking empty and ticket sales in a freefall compared to the opening weekend. He is looking at one last-ditch effort to salvage the tournament's energy, the rumored exhibition match with Alex Eala. Haas is hoping that by having Eala back on the court, even just for an exhibition, the fans will flood back through the gates. The plan is to create a massive spectacle that will reignite the excitement in time for the women's final. And let's be real, it's not a bad business idea.
Eala has already proven she is the biggest draw in the desert.
The situation at Indian Wells is absolutely fascinating.
Tommy Haas is trying to pull every single trick in the book to bring the crowds back, and his frustration with the WTA is palpable. Eala's star power is undeniable, and her fans are the most fiercely loyal in the sport. But the lingering question remains. Will the WTA finally wake up and give Alex Eala the massive center-stage recognition her fanbase demands? Or will they continue to downplay her historic rise? One thing is for sure. The story of Alex Eala is just getting started, and it is completely changing the landscape of women's tennis. That's all for today's video, folks. What do you think? Should the WTA be doing a lot more to support Alex Eala? Or is Tommy Haas just overreacting to empty seats? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to absolutely smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more exciting updates on the world of tennis.